Welcome back to MTR Network Movie Trailer Reviews, and it's Chris here again with another movie review this week. And today I'm reviewing Ocean's 8, which is a spinoff of the trilogy of Ocean films, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13. Changing up this time, instead of having an all-male team, you had George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Don Cheadle, you had that Bernie Mac. Instead of having that team, this time you have an all-female team led by Sandra Bullock, who is playing Danny Ocean's, George Clooney's sister, Debbie Ocean is film. So you have Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, Rihanna, who else is in there? And Hathaway, Sarah Paulson, Mindy Kaling, and what was the Awkwafina? I think she's a comedian slash rapper. And so that's your team. You have 8 women here. It's directed by Gary Roche, and it is written by him and also written by Olivia Milch. Let me start off by saying this. I'm a sucker for heist films. I don't really, I'll just be honest, I don't really care if they're good or bad. I like them. I'll put it this way. I kind of enjoy... what was that film with the, Now You See Me? I kind of enjoyed those films just because, yeah, they were doing magic, but they were also kind of like stealing things, so I didn't care. I enjoyed fucking Entrapment. It's not a good film. It's got, what is it? This is back when I thought Catherine Zeta-Jones was Latina. That really screwed me over. That, and it has, Sean Connery in it, but I like the, Italian Job. I was hoping that they would get a sequel for that. You name it, I pretty much have watched it. Hudson Hawk, all the Ocean films, and even 12, which is not really the good one, and they basically just went back to the basics when they did 13. I like that one. If it's a heist film, I'll fucking watch it, and I don't really care if it's good or not. You have to be pretty bad at a heist film for me not to enjoy it. So, already going into this film, I didn't care if it was an all-female team. It was already had all the things going for it that I was going to enjoy this film. So I have to get that out right now because I'm biased towards heist films. I do not think I've come across a heist film I haven't enjoyed, unless they're too serious. When I say heist films, I'm talking about the whimsical fun heist films. I know there was Den of Thieves, which was not a good film, and it was taking itself way too fucking seriously. And if you go that route, then I need you to actually be good. Heat. Heat is good. Den of Thieves tried to rip off of Heat. I fucking was bored out of my mind. But when you do these whimsical, fun little, heist films and just get the quirky feels where it's just the ensemble cast, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to enjoy that film. So, spoiler alert, I enjoyed Ocean's 8. Is it perfect? Of course not. But I'll be honest, I should have looked this up. I don't know what the Rotten Tomato scores are for the first Ocean's films. I don't really care because, again, I enjoyed most of them. Even 12. 12 is a little ridiculous. You get, Julia Roberts playing Julia Roberts, pretending she's Julia Roberts in the film. It gets out there. Again, still don't care. For this film, the setup is basically... And I know this is going to be a complaint some people have with this film. It pretty much follows the same story beats of the first Ocean film. Debbie Ocean's getting out of jail and she's going to pull the heist to end all heists. The heist that she's been planning for 5 years, that she's been sitting in jail. And it kind of follows the same threads that Ocean's 11 did. Here's the thing, and this is why I don't think it should matter. That was all the Ocean films. When they got away from that in Ocean's 12 is when it kind of got iffy. And then when they did Ocean 13, they were like, just go back and do the first film again. And you know what? It fucking worked. Nobody cared. So I do not hold... I know some people might hold it against this film that it kind of followed the same things. If you are a fan of the first Ocean's films, you are going to be able to pick up on the multi-layered scheme and theft going on here. You're going to be able to pick up on those things. You just will. But it shouldn't matter because... The reason why I always love these kind of films and I'm always a fan of these heist films, particularly in ensemble cast heist films, is the cast. If the cast gels or the cast works together, then I don't care. Like, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. Cate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock are basically playing the George Clooney and Brad Pitt of this team, and I enjoy them together. Like, they work, they complement each other. It's pretty much the same kind of relationship that you had, with Ocean's 11, and I just like these ladies working together. It's really, really fun. Standout, and it shouldn't be standout. We should know this. Anne Hathaway is she just really shines in films like this, like in roles like this. Like, I don't think she gets enough credit for how funny and how she just has this way of turning on a dime. And when she's basically instructed to kind of overact. Remember The Dark Knight Rises, when she's playing Selena and she's in the bar and she fakes like she got injured and she's screaming and she turns on a dime. Like, Anne Hathaway is just a really, really good actress, and she's really, really good at doing a complete 180 in a scene, and it just works so really well. And when you put her in with this group, and just playing off of these other women, it really works out well. Sandra Bullock is another good actress, another person who just fits this role really, really well. I know people are gonna really, wondering about Rihanna, and I don't think some of the films she's been in before have been that good, so you didn't really get a good breath of what her acting abilities were. In this film, I think they basically just told Rihanna to be the don't give a fuck person that she is in real life, and like the amount of fuck she doesn't give while she's in the middle of actually being this hacker and helping them run the scams, it's just perfect. It's fucking great. I don't know. I really just think that you go into this film, and if you ever like the Ocean's film, again, you're gonna see the layers. You're gonna know what the scheme is. You're gonna know that there's different levels and people have their different agendas. And like I said, I think it holds up pretty well. Like I said, by the time I got finished with the film, I'm like, let's make an Ocean 9. Let's make an Ocean's 10. Let's keep this going. I would love to see these ladies back at it, doing another heist, continuing working and doing things like that. I'm trying to think. If there was one thing I say that this film was missing, it's so in the Ocean's film, it's missing kind of a villain. Which is, I think, Richard Armitage, I believe. Yeah, Richard Armitage is basically, I guess you can kind of say he's kind of the villain, but not really in this film. Like, in the Ocean film, you had a set villain. Particularly, I'm going to just skip over 12. And 11 and 13 pretty much had set villains, right? In Ocean's 11, it was Andy Garcia. In Ocean's 13, it's Al Pacino. Well, long day, brain fart right here. He had Al Pacino. Like, those are two, like, they were just meant to play that casino owner that is probably up to no good and is doing some shit and doing some stuff that you just need to like you can just tell. You know that with them. This film doesn't really have that. Let me see. There is, oh gosh, I can't remember who is playing the insurance adjuster in this film, but he feels like, oh, I'm sorry, it's James Corden. James Corden is playing the insurance adjuster in this film, and like he's the only time you kind of get that feeling that there's somebody that they really got to kind of fool, they got to deal with. But even it's not really what you think, and I think that's what this film was missing. I mean, it's not that it needed the male character or something like that to be the villain. It could have been a woman. I was hoping it would be. I was hoping they would have somebody there. I mean, if you don't know the story, they're basically robbing the Met Gala. They're going to be trying to steal some of the jewelry that's on display at this big event. And what's missing is, like, again, in Oceans 11 and 13, you had that constant presence, that constant person there running security that they had to fool. There's somebody they had to fool, and there's that antagonist that's there. Here, you don't really have that. There really isn't like a villain or somebody who's really, really pursuing the ladies and getting in their way. That's not to say there's no adversity for them, or there's no problems they need to solve. There definitely is, and there definitely is you get the whole elaborate, well, you got to do this, we got to do that. Oh, obviously following the theme of these films, they have it all planned out, then there's something comes in the last minute and they got to switch it up, The film follows that general theme, but like I said, it was just missing that one little thing, and that one little thing is, like, it would have been nice if they had brought in, like, this head of security who was a woman, and then have her doggedly pursuing, these ladies and making sure, and that person had to be fooled. I think that's what this film was missing. Again, it's a very, to me, again, for I love this film. It's still a small nitpick, but I do think going forward that they would do better if they have that, because I'm trying to think, that might have been the problem with 12. Like, 12 was the one that kind of got out of my mind, but I don't really remember there really, really being like an actual person in 12. I know there probably was, but not like 11 and 13. I mean, you had Andy Garcia, and then you had, Al Pacino in those two films. Like, those two things are you had there. Like, I think even in 13, you had another character who was coming in to steal the jewels at the same time. So again, you had that other human element there, and I think that's what this film is missing. But again, it didn't really bother me that much, because again, the way the ladies work together and the way their chemistry is, it works. I mean, it's funny. Each lady has their moment. There was another thing I would like to see, and I think they do this a lot with the original films, is you get a little bit more pairing of, like, here you really get Sandra Bullock and Cate. They're paired off a lot, and so you get a lot of that. But it would have been nice to get some of the other ladies paired off with each other and having them interact. You get some of it, but not a whole lot. Again, this film was really short. It's not short. It's under 2 hours. So I understand they don't want to go too far. But, yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this. Again, I'm a sucker for heist films. I really haven't come across a heist film, like a funny, like, comedy heist film that I don't enjoy. So take that for what you will. But again, I think this was a good first step. Like, I hope it makes enough money for them to keep making them and keep going down this path, because yeah, I think again, it's a pretty diverse cast. The ladies work really well. It's got it is basically Ocean's 11 with not in a casino and with women instead, and also with less women than the first film did. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. You do get some cameos from the Oceans 11 through 12 stuff. They're probably not cameos you want, and I think that's good. You don't get, again, spoiler alert, you're not getting the George Clooney's, the Brad Pitts, or the Matt Damons, and not saying that you might not get that in the future, but I do think for this first film, it was important to not have either one of those three in there, to make sure to show that this film and this franchise can carry on without them. Do I want to see them in the future? Would it be nice to get the little cameos? Yeah, it'd be nice. The cameos we do get are actually they're not overdone. They're just enough, and it fits with what goes on in the film. So yeah, I definitely think if you go see Ocean's 8 this weekend, you'll really, really enjoy it. And like I said, hope it makes enough money for them to keep making them, because I really enjoyed this. So check it out, Ocean's 8. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, MTR Network. This is going to be a busy week for reviews for me. Coming out in less than 24 hours after you've seen this video, we'll have a review for Hotel Artemis, and then 24 hours after that, we'll have a review for Incredibles 2. So yeah, stay tuned and make sure you hit the subscribe button. So again, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll be back soon. Peace.